Okay, it's on. Down below, I'll put a link to a video by an author named Gary Wayne. If you're a Christian, if you certain stuff, you might know who he is. I learned who he is a long time back, but his topic is not something I'm interested in. He's a Genesis 6 Giants guy and all that stuff. So I never, before I got into the faith, I knew all about Genesis 6 and the Giants and all this stuff, because I used to listen to Art Bell, which was, he'd have Alex Jones on and Steve Quayle. They talk about the Giants and all this stuff. And that's just something I accepted as far as the Bible. Okay, it's in the Old Testament. We'll just leave that there and whatever. So I knew what this Gary Wayne was about, but never really listened to him. Made zillions of podcasts. He's on everybody's podcast in that genre, let's say. So about a month ago, I saw a title, and I can't remember what it was. Nothing about Giants or that stuff, but I think it was about. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. But I watched it, and it was about an hour and a half podcast, and it's this Gary Wayne, and I really liked what he's saying. I said, oh, this is the Giants guy. So I watched another video of his, then another one. Long story short, I've watched 25 or 30 of his videos. They're all a minimum of an hour long. And one thing I like about the guy, he's easy to understand and all this, not too dogmatic or anything like that, but he's very consistent. I mean, you make a lot of videos, your faults are going to show up. This guy is very consistent. And so I really liked what he was saying, how he was saying it, how he carries himself. Yeah, the people interviewing sometimes are complete loons. But I like the guy. And so for that reason, I bought his book. It's Genesis 6 Conspiracy Theory number 2. I'll make a video about that later on. I'm about 100 pages in. I really like it. It's very interesting. It's kind of opened up the Old Testament to me in a different way, whereas before I made a lot of speculation, a lot of guessing. But anyhow, and I'll make a thing on his video or his book or whatever. There's a link below of a video I watched 2 or 3 days ago. It's about 13 minutes, the intro 13 minutes of a podcast that Gary Wayne did like 5 or 6 days ago. And he basically, I can't remember the way the guy asked him a question and then he just let him go. And for 13 minutes, he basically explains where we live, what this environment is. Very, very much like I talked about in that, I did the Genesis 3 video. And it's just a really good, he'll bring up some things that maybe you've not heard of before, but he's been explaining elsewhere. But I think it's a real good example of the world that we live in today, who's in charge, what's going on. You'll remember when I talked about, they said that the serpent will have conflict between his offspring and the offspring of the woman. He's talking about the serpent's offspring, so to speak. And what is it today? What's the environment we're living in today? And I think he did a great job. Check it out. It's only 13 minutes. If the whole video is probably an hour and a half, but it's right at the beginning. It's about 13-14 minutes. Gary Wayne. And the guy, like I said, I'm not impressed with Genesis 6 and Giants and all this stuff. I was impressed with the author, and so I bought his book to see. Okay, maybe this guy can explain something different. And so far, it's really very interesting. And I'll make a video about that later on. But if you're interested, check out the link below and listen for 13 minutes. Love you, God bless.